Welcome my dear students, welcome to yet another episode of my channel Physics module. So today I am going to teach a very interesting and as well as important topic for ISC standards. Also CBSE and WB बोर्ड के लिए भी ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. 11th में ये टॉपिक बहुत ज़्यादा सॉल्व करने को मिलेगा आप लोगों को. वो है मास एंड पुली सिस्टम. एज यू कैन सी इट इज़ रिटन इन द बोर्ड. सो मास और पुली के जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं उनके सॉल्व आप वेरी इजीली और एफिशिएंटली कैसे कर सकते हैं उसके बारे में हम इस वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे. टू स्टार्ट विद द पुली एंड मास प्रॉब्लम्स यू हैव टू clear your concepts about what are the assumptions you have to make to solve such kind of problems. So let me start with a basic one. See, here is a pulley, the string is attached to it, and two different kind of masses, two different values of masses such as this is M1 and this is M2 is tied to the string. Whenever a mass is tied or hung up from a string, this string will try to pull this mass up and give this mass a force which is called tension force. And the direction of the tension force, you have to always take it away from the mass. Okay, always take the direction of the tension force away from the mass. So here it will also be T, and the tension force for a single string. Okay, what is the second point? Tension force for a single string. Here you can see this is a single string. This is only string tied around this pulley. Tension for a single string will always be same. That is, it is T over the entire length of the string. And this is a pulley. This is fixed pulley. Pulleys are of two kinds. One is fixed pulley, one is movable pulley. We will come to the movable pulley later, but first let's discuss about fixed pulley system. These are two masses and these masses will have a downward force which is mg. So for this second mass it is m2g, for the first mass it is m1g. Okay, now you have to consider the fact that m2 is greater than m1. ये जो मास है इस मास से ज्यादा है. So what will happen? This string or this mass will come down. The mass tied to this part of the string will come down with a certain amount of acceleration. Let us take the acceleration be a, and as this entire string is the only one string tied to the pulley, the upward acceleration for this mass will also be a, isn't it? ये जो ज्यादा वेट का मास है ये अगर नीचे आ रहा है a acceleration से, this mass of m1 will also go up with same acceleration, as because these two masses are tied with a same string. Okay, so now you have to construct a particular form of equation. What are they? For m1 mass, first we will take m1 mass. For m1, what will be the equation? See, you have to take the direction of acceleration as positive. Means in which direction acceleration going, the weight of the mass will be positive for that particular direction. Okay, so let me construct the equation for m1 mass. What will be? See, m1 mass's weight m1g is going downwards, and tension T, this is also a kind of force. So we can write it as that acceleration is going upward. That means this acceleration and tension has the same direction. If this happens, you have to take T as positive. If acceleration of the mass and the tension of the string are in same direction, you have to take the tension as positive. So you have to write T minus m1g, and this is the amount of effective force. You have to equate it to the product of mass and acceleration according to the Newton's second law. All these things, let me remind you, all these problems of mass pulley system will be solved taking the consideration of Newton's second law. Newton's second law. And what is it? What is it? F equals to ma. Okay, so this is the amount of force. This is actually the interpretation of effective force. This is mass into acceleration product. Okay, let me write it as equation 1. And for the m2, what will be the m2 equation? M2's equation will be, see, in this case the weight of the mass is alongside with the direction of acceleration, so this weight will be taken as positive. So you have to write it as m2g minus t. Why it is minus? Because t is in opposite direction of the acceleration, and as well as t is in opposite direction to the weight. Okay, so that is why m2g minus t, this is the amount of effective force. You have to equate it with the product of mass and acceleration. What is mass? Here mass is m2 and acceleration is a. This is second equation. So that is how you can form equations for solving mass and pulley systems. And one more thing, that from these two equations you will get the values of t, you will get the value of t, you will get the value of acceleration also. Okay, from here you can write as t equals to m1a plus m1g, that is taking m1 as common, a plus g. And from here you can write m2g minus m2a equals to t, taking m2 common, you will write m2 product of g minus a, okay, equals to t. As you can see, both of these terms are equated to t. Both of these terms are equated to t. Okay, so you can write m1 into a plus g, equals to m2 into g minus a, and by producting these two you will get the expression for acceleration. What it is? m1a plus m1g equals to m2g minus m2a. Separate the a terms, m1a minus m2a, plus m2a, it will become plus m2a. And for this one, m2g minus m1a, so taking a common, m1 plus m2 equals to taking g common, you will get m2 minus m1 into g. So from here, what will be the expression of acceleration? What will be the expression of acceleration? I am writing it over here. Okay, acceleration will be see, m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 whole into g. You will have the values of m and m2, you will have the value of g. From here you can calculate the amount of acceleration with which the system is going downward. Okay, the amount of acceleration with which this system is going downwards. You have to calculate these two equations also. If you find the value of a, put it over here, you will get the value of t. Okay, you know the value of g, you will find the value of a from this equation. You are provided the value of m1, that is mass. All these three are given, so you will calculate easily the amount of tension force. Okay, this is pretty much easy. Okay, let me take another example that will clear your concept a bit more. So let's consider this second problem. इसमें क्या होता है? There is a table on which a mass is placed. Okay, suppose this is 4 kg. Suppose this is a 4 kg mass placed on a table tied with a string, and a pulley is fixed at the corner of the table, and from this pulley another mass of 2 kg is hung. Okay, now you have to calculate the tension force and the acceleration for this mass and pulley system. What we will do, you will first give the directions of tension force. What are they? that I have mentioned that the tension force should be given away from the mass like this, and because this is a single string, the tension value will be same for the masses, for both the masses the tension's value will be same. So now what is happening, this masses mg is acting downward, what is 2g, and here there is an interesting case that the weight of this mass 4g is getting balanced by the reaction force given by the table. Okay, the weight of this mass which is 4g is balanced by the reaction force given by the table. So you have to just consider the value of tension for this particular mass, and let me take the value, the acceleration's value with which this system is coming downward. Okay, this system, in spite of having the lesser mass, in this case in spite of having this mass is lesser, it will go downward. So it is going downward with acceleration a, then it will also come towards this pulley. Okay, it will also come towards this pulley with acceleration a. Okay, understood? So how I am going to form the equation for these two masses? For 4 kg mass it will be, for 4 kg mass it will be only the effect of tension which is moving, there will be mass to be multiplied with acceleration. There will be mass multiplied with the acceleration a, which will be equals to the t for this 4 kg mass, equal to the tension force. Okay, for this 2 kg mass what will happen? See, the weight is going downward in the direction with the acceleration. Okay, this tension is opposite, so you have to take this tension as negative and smaller. You have to take this 2g as positive minus t, that is effective force, F equals to ma. We have to write it as in the form of F equals to ma. 2g minus t is the effective force, and what will be the acceleration a, which is multiplied by the mass which is 2a. Okay, which is 2 kg. So these are two equations. Now write the value 4a over here, you will get the expression for acceleration. So I am writing it as 2g minus 4a equals to 2a. It will be 2g equals to 6a, and acceleration will be 2g by 6. Okay, this will be the acceleration. We know the g's value. We are not going to think about the value putting method. I am going to give you just the concept. वो 10 mass का क्या value होगा, g का क्या value होगा, this is not the matter of concern. We have to clear the concept of mass and pulley system. So ये वाला question clear हुआ? This is clear now? I hope it is clear. There are going to be more difficult and more complicated problems, but we will be able to solve all these questions with this concepts which I am going to give you. मेरे साथ आप थोड़ा देर रहिए, all the problems will be solved. Okay. So ये problem clear हुआ. यहाँ से आप टेंशन इस a के वैल्यू को आप यहाँ पे t पे बिठा दीजिए. You will find the value of t. Put the a's value over here and you will find the value of tension force also. So tension मिला हमें, acceleration मिला हमें, ऐसे चला. So अभी क्या करना है, ये जो एग्जाम्पल जो था उसमें मैंने फिक्स्ड पुली दिखाया. Next we will take an example of movable pulley. Okay, let's make your concepts clear about this. Okay, our third example is, let's say this is a rigid support from which a pulley is tied with the string. This is a movable pulley, and this one is a fixed pulley. This one is fixed with the rigid support. Okay, so a mass is tied with this pulley, another mass is tied with this one. Okay, two masses are tied with these pulleys. One mass is with the movable pulley and another mass is with the fixed pulley. So we will discuss about the acceleration and tension criteria for these two. Okay, let us take, this is a 1 kg mass and this is a 2 kg mass. So what will happen, its weight will act downward, and the value of this weight will be what, 2g, and this one will be only g. Okay, so now this is time to give the directions of tension. Tension will be like this, away from the mass. This is entire string is only same string, so it will be T over here, T over here, and T over here. But for this case, this mass is getting pulled by this movable pulley with tension 2T. 1T for this, 1T for this. This is 2T. Now there is an interesting case. See, you have to understand this thing. Whenever this mass is getting downward, this mass is getting downwards or going downwards, what is happening? This pulley, movable pulley, is moving upwards, which is fine. But the string over here and the string over here, both of the sides are getting pulled up. The strings on this side and string of this side are getting pulled upward at the same time. So what will happen if this pulley is going upward with acceleration A? This mass will go downward with acceleration 2A. क्या हो रहा है, आप ध्यान से देखिए. यहाँ पे ये पुली ऊपर उठ रहा है, इस तरफ का स्ट्रिंग भी यहाँ पे ऊपर उठ रहा है, इस तरफ का स्ट्रिंग भी यहाँ पे ऊपर उठ रहा है. फॉर दिस बोथ ऑफ द साइड्स ऑफ दिस स्ट्रिंग यू आर गेटिंग एक्सेलरेशन A, एंड विच इज बैलेंस्ड बाय द डाउनवर्ड मूवमेंट ऑफ दिस 2 kg mass. Okay, so this 2 kg mass will achieve 2A acceleration. So let me write the equations for this mass. It will be, see, this is moving upward in the direction of acceleration, so acceleration and T's direction are same. So we will write tension, which is 2T for this mass, as positive, minus G. It will be equals to the product of mass and acceleration. Mass is 1 kg over here, so it will be A. Okay, and for this mass, the equation will be G is going downwards, the weight. Okay, but T is opposite, so 2G will be greater than T. 2G minus T equals to MA. M is 2 kg, acceleration is 2A, so it will be equals to 4A. But for this case, what will happen now? You have to just add up these two equations and get the value of tension, force and acceleration. So if you are to add these two equations, you have to equate this value of tension. So you have to multiply this equation by 2. It will become 4G minus 2T equals to 8A. So by adding this equation 1 and equation 2, this 2T and 2T will be cancelled out. So you will get 3G equals to 9A, which will be A equals to 3G by 9, which is G by 3. Okay, acceleration will be 1/3 of the value of gravitational acceleration. Acceleration of this system will be 1/3 of the value of gravitational acceleration. Okay, from this value you have to put this value of A to either of this equation 1 or 2. यहाँ पे मैं T निकाल के दे रहा हूँ आपको. फर्स्ट इक्वेशन में अगर आप पुट करते हैं 2T minus G, you have to put the value of A, which is G by 3. So 2T will be equals to G by 3 plus G, which will be 4G by 3. So 2 gets cancelled out, and the value of tension will be 2G by 3. Okay, this is how you can solve the mass and pulley problems by simple constructing these two equations, considering the fact of Newton's second law, which is F equals to ma. Okay, let's move on to our next example, which is something like this. This is a fixed support. From this a pulley is hung, a string is attached to it, one mass is over here, but on the other side there are two masses. Okay, there are two masses. Let's take this is as m1, this as m2, this as m3. ये कैसे अब सॉल्व होगा? ये कैसे हम सॉल्व करेंगे? अभी तक जो एग्जांपल्स मैंने दिखाए हैं एक मास के नीचे कोई एक मास नहीं बना था. All the masses were tied with a pulley. But in this case, another mass is tied with this M2. How will this be solved? So let us take the directions of tension force first. So this is a single string. So tension will be same for all the masses, and it will be away from the mass, which is T over here. Let us take as T1, this as T2, and this as T3. Okay, now you have to consider the free body diagrams of these masses. Let us consider this one. The trick is you have to consider the masses first under which no mass is given. You have to consider the free masses first. Okay, free mass number 1 is this, number 2 is this. First make the equation for this M1 mass. For M1, see, acceleration, as you can see, double mass is given over here. So this pulley will rotate like this, and the string will have an acceleration a in this direction. This will have an acceleration a in upward direction, which is fine. See over here, what is happening for M1? M1, the downward weight is acting, which is M1g. Upward is T1, and acceleration. So acceleration and tension having same direction, you have to write it as T1 minus M1g equals to mass into acceleration, which is M1a. Okay, so value of T1 from here you will get T1 equals to M1a, or taking M1 as common, M1 into g plus a. So for now, mass M3, you have to consider this one first, as it is a free mass also. इसके नीचे कुछ भी नहीं है. You have to take free masses first. So for M3, what will be the equation? This is having a downward weight also, which is M3g. Upward is T3. Now the acceleration is in the direction of M3g. So M3g is positive, minus upward क्या है? T3 है minus. T3 tension is upward, which will be equals to the product of mass, which is M3, into acceleration. Okay, fine. Now what is happening in the case of M2? What is happening in the case of M2? See, if you separate this one, if you separate this M2 mass, you will have T2 upward, M2g downward, and also T3 downward, and also T3 upward, as far as we can see drawn in this diagram. But you cannot take both the tension in same direction. Tension is somewhat that is pulling the object like this. It is pulling the object like this. It can be in both direction. So it can pull the object like this. It cannot be in same direction. Two tensions for a single string cannot be in same direction for a single mass. Okay, so you have to consider, for the sake of balancing this thing, you have to consider the direction of T3 downward when you are to write the equation for M2 mass. इस M2 mass के लिए आपको T3 को downward consider करना है to balance these two tensions. Okay, tension यहाँ पे दोनों नहीं तो एक direction में हो जाते, वो imbalance हो जाता for this second mass. So considering this fact, you have to write it as, see, acceleration is in downward direction. Okay, so M2g and T3 both are positive. You have to write it as M2g plus T3, एक ब्रैकेट कर लीजिए, आसानी होगा समझने में. वो क्या है? माइनस है, ऑपोजिट है T2 के. T2 के माइनस है, which will be equals to the product of mass and acceleration. Okay, this is entire effective force which is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. So यहाँ से आपको क्या मिल जाता है? यहाँ पे T1 का वैल्यू मिल जाएगा अगर आपको M1 का मास वैल्यू दिया ही हुआ होगा. G का वैल्यू आपको पता है. Acceleration आपको इस इक्वेशन से मिल जाएगा. Okay, so you can interchange the values for this equation 1, equation 2 and equation 3 to find out the expression or the to calculate the values of acceleration and tension. Okay, this is how we can solve mass and pulley problems. There are some more complicated problems regarding mass and pulley system. If this video is helpful for you, do comment in the comment section. अगर आपको सेकेंड पार्ट चाहिए इस मास पुली सिस्टम का, वो भी मेरे को बताइए कमेंट सेक्शन में. And if this video is helpful and knowledgeable for you, don't forget to share this thing. Also remember to subscribe my channel so that you can get such kind of videos notification as soon as I post it on my channel. And one more thing, you can follow me on Facebook page. There is a Facebook page of this channel which is physics module. उसमें मेरा कवर फोटो में मेरा भी फोटो है, फिजिक्स मॉड्यूल का लोगो भी है, तो आप उससे पहचान जाएंगे. फिजिक्स मॉड्यूल फेसबुक पेज में आप लाइक कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे अगर कोई आपको चीज़ पूछने में दिक्कत आती है उसको उसमें आप पर्सनल मैसेज करके पूछ सकते हैं. वी विल मीट इन माई नेक्स्ट वीडियो. टिल देन, गुड बाय, स्टे सेफ एंड स्टे विथ फिजिक्स.